What are your thoughts on the vaccine mandate?
Yeah, I think it's great. I wish everybody was more science-oriented.
Protecting everyone.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the vaccine mandate? Yeah, take your no. No. All right, what's up? We're back. Episode 5. We the people. How's it going, guys? It's been so long. Had a long break. I hope you've been enjoying the pandemic so far. Today, we're in Carlsbad. As you can see, we're going to be walking around asking people what their opinion is on the vaccine mandate. North County, San Diego. Let's find out. Here we go. Gary, what does it mean to you to be an American?
Proud.
All right, so when you say proud, does that mean proud of like the beaches? What specifically would you be proud of?
Proud of the history.
Of the history. Oh, see ya, Gary. He wasn't proud. Sure, what do you think about the vaccine mandate?
The vaccine's good. You can stay safe, but I feel like you don't need to force it upon people. Just be a choice, free.
I think it should also be a choice. I personally can't get it, and I can't go to school here anymore next year, so I need to go somewhere else, and I think that's kind of rude to make me move out of the state to go get education because I need to have vaccine.
Wait, so you can't get an education here because you can't get vaccinated?
Yeah, because they now passed the new law that you need to be vaccinated for online and in school.
Wait, if you're at home on your computer, you have to be vaccinated?
For the colleges, yes. And I was like, that's a little weird, isn't it? I thought that was weird.
That is so weird.
I think people should have to get the vaccine.
Yes?
Yep.
I totally agree, yeah.
What do we do with people that don't want to get vaccinated?
Well,
Oh, my neck! How's it feel now? All right, that's good. Come on.
Smack them?
yeah, well, I don't know. I feel sorry for them because they're putting other people in jeopardy, so.
Hey, ladies, can I ask you what it means to be an American?
It means to appreciate your freedom today. I love it. Yeah, but I'm not a Trumper, if that's what you're asking.
I'm grateful to have your time. Can I ask you as well, what are your thoughts on the vaccine mandate?
Well, I'm all for it.
All for it, absolutely.
What's the most important thing about the vaccine mandate?
Well, we're not going to solve this if people get to do what they want and ignore the fact that this is an international problem.
Is it what if somebody decides that they want to refuse the vaccine?
I think that's sad.
Oh, I hope they don't get any federal funding, that they don't have a federal job, because I think, the federal government pretty much contributes to everything, and I think that, the welfare of us as a society and a whole is greater than that of the individual.
So you feel like if they choose not to get vaccinated, you should deprive them of their civil rights?
Funding, job abilities, things like that. I think that that's perfectly within the confines to restrict them. Civil, fine. Free speech, okay. I don't need to be near you. I'd like you to have a tattoo saying I'm not vaccinated.
Permanent tattoo?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
You can take off once they get vaccinated, because they will eventually get vaccinated.
You think that you can torture them into vaccination?
Absolutely. That would be my goal.
I mean, the mandate aspect of it, it's just like the government telling you that put this in your body, this is what you're going to do. Like, it's beyond like what they should even be allowed to do. As like citizens, we should have a choice no matter what of anything, to do with our bodies, to do with our families, our children. So obviously like super against it, masks, vaccines, all that stuff. Yeah.
And be able to understand what would be going into our bodies and stuff like that. So the biggest red flag, of course, is just the urgency that it has to be everybody. And, it went from what Krispy Kreme giving you a free donut if you got a vaccination to now you're going to lose your job. We're not cool with that.
I think you should call it what it is. If pro-choice only applies to abortion rights, then you're not pro-choice, but it doesn't apply to vaccine. If you're saying people shouldn't have the right to choose if they want to take the vaccine or not, but should have the right to choose if they get an abortion or not, they're not pro-choice, they're pro-abortion.
I think that the vaccine is good. I'm not sure that I agree that everyone has to take the same thing.
What does it mean to you to be an American?
Beer and women.
Beer and women. All right, what are your thoughts on the vaccine mandate?
Fuck that.
Excuse me, ladies, can I ask you a question about what it means to be an American? You want to share my opinion? Your opinion? Anybody's opinion? Freedom, I like that. You? No? You're rushing. Shopping. Get your shopping done. Hey guys, can I ask you a question about what it means to be an American? You're not into it? All right. Have a good one. See ya. What are your thoughts on vaccine mandates?
I don't know if I want to say. I don't think they should be implemented. I think that it's a form of targeting a certain amount of people and their views, and I don't think they should be implemented.
How do people respond if they have that idea?
Well, I think you should bring up the facts. I think you should talk about, not everyone wants to get vaccines. Not everyone should be forced to get vaccines. And it's definitely a restrictive for the government to say, yeah, you can't go to this place because you're not vaccinated.
So with the mandate, who's liable for the vaccine? If there's an injury from the vaccine, who's liable?
There's not going to be an injury from the vaccine.
Well, there have been a number of cases of vaccine, but who carries that liability?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody should, because I don't believe that the vaccine is that dangerous. No. It's a lot more dangerous not to get it. So,
Any time that there is risk, there has to be liability.
Yes, there absolutely.
There has to be choice, and people who have already had COVID, when you have the natural immunity, it can be 27% better than. I know.
So with this, there was a child recently in Oceanside that got the vaccine. I think a 13-year-old child, and they died from it 3 days later. So with this circumstance, we know it's a healthy child vaccination. What do we do? Who covers the cost of the death? Who reimburses the family? What do we do in that scenario, and who's responsible for that?
Their insurance has to cover it. That's all.
The personal insurance, but it wasn't the personal insurance that created the mandate.
But,
the government created the mandate. Yeah, but the government should be responsible, and the government are the taxpayers. So all the people.
So if the government is creating the mandate, then we, the people, are actually paying for that individual who died?
Exactly.
That seems kind of crazy to me, because I don't really want to cover the cost of that guy dying. So if there's negative side effects, I lean on your side to say, then we should really, I mean, you guys said it as well, have the freedom of choice. And so knowing that there are negative side effects, like you've been saying, then at that point, it's hard for me to even hate people or detest people that decide not to get it.
Hate them or detest them. I just don't agree with their feelings. I mean, I couldn't say I hate her because she hasn't had her injection, but I totally disagree with it. But that doesn't mean to say I don't hate them.
Because the only way we're going to bridge.
Immunity from when you've had COVID, your immunity is only for 6 months after.
I've heard it's less than that for the vaccine, though. No. I've heard that it's only 3 months for the vaccine. Regardless of the science, because science can always adjust, what we've got to figure out is how to bridge the gap. Because I think what we have in America and maybe even in Europe are these ideas of this side and that side, and the people, whoever are at the top, are monetizing at the war. And so we've got to figure out how to bridge this gap on a difference of opinion. Because if we don't, we lose. In the end, we lose. Like if you have an idea and you have an idea and they're separate, and you can't at the end of the night hug each other and play over a game of like chess or whatever and enjoy a cup of coffee, you guys are losing the battle, because the battle is won with unity. What does it mean to be an American?
Citizenship?
I like that. To be an American, you got to be a citizen. That's a good point. What to you does it mean to be an American?
Nothing really.
All right, you don't like it?
I don't know.
Do you hate America?
No.
Do you love America?
Yeah.
You think America's the coolest place you've ever been?
Sure.
Have you ever been outside of America?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Jamaica.
What do you think about the vaccine mandate?
Kind of stupid.
Have you been vaccinated?
Oh, my first dose. Yeah, I have.
Well, it's pretty simple, because if you're going to force or mandate or try to mandate something, let's say, for example, force vaccines for kids or even government workers. If that's the case, then what about all the other illnesses that they have out there? Why aren't they providing remedies for those free, but they're pushing the vaccine mandates? What's the purpose? What's the real agenda behind it? Is it really to fix, COVID or the symptoms, or is it something else? To me, it doesn't make sense. So to me, I just question the entire premise of mandates. Forcing people to do something against their will sounds nefarious. It doesn't sound like something that is out to help us. Let us make our own decisions.
That's fantastic. So being that you don't value an individual or a corporation or even the government mandating something on citizens, what do you do in response when those mandates come?
Well, me personally, I'm a business owner. So, but if I had 100 employees, what I would simply do, I wouldn't comply. Or I'd find other avenues to protect my workers because, again, it seems to be there's no recourse. And if I have my employees take something, if I had 100 employees and something happened, I would feel like crap. And for one, it's their body. Who am I to say what to put in someone else's body that if they have an allergic reaction or if they, something happens to them, then, I, pretty much feel responsible for them and I couldn't have that on my hands.
You can't force someone to do something that's not a law. There's no legal language. Congress has to vote on it. No one's voted on it, so they can't force you to do something. That's just, and the government's putting it on the corporations and having the corporations force the people because they know by law it's illegal. It's unconstitutional. So no, all of it is, there's a far larger agenda out there that's pretty clear, and I think people are waking up to that and understand that, and I think that's why we're starting to see so much pushback, because there's more of them more of us than there are of them, and if we don't comply, they have no power.
I believe that liberty is only preserved through moral men and women. Absolutely. And when you force someone to be moral, that's tyranny. Because It's not a personal choice. It's not a character growth, it's chains.
I don't need to be near you. I'd like you to have a tattoo saying I'm not vaccinated. But